So in this episode, let's talk about how we're getting a new fancy cable in the iPhone 12, how we're getting yet another iPad Pro this year, and how we now know literally everything there is to know about the Pixel 4a 5G 2. This is Gadget Snap. So you might know that Apple is removing pretty much everything they gave us in the box for free, but do not worry, because in exchange for the lack of headphones or a charger, they're giving us a nicer, fancier wire now. Yay, I guess. So courtesy of Mr. White on Twitter, we have our first look of this cable in question, and it's going to be braided, and that essentially means it's going to be better for durability. I'm not going to lie to you guys though, I have never ever had an issue with the regular cables that we already get in the box. I mean, I've been using this iPad cable for 2 years now, and look, it's completely fine. I mean, it might be a little dirty, but it still works, and that's the main thing. But the biggest issue, without a doubt, is the fact the cable's lightning to USB Type-C, and I know as techies, we love USB Type-C, all the things, that's what everyone says, I know, but as an average consumer, you're going to have this, you're going to have the dinky 5-watt USB Type-A charger, and when you get your new iPhone 12 and you need to charge it, and you realize the new cable won't plug into this one, you're going to be angry. But not to worry, Apple will gladly sell you a charger for 30 pounds. 30 bloody pounds. Just buy one off Amazon, okay? Don't go to Apple. By the way, guys, before we move on to the next story, I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. Thank you. Right, second story of the day comes from respected analyst Minchi Kuo, who says that a new iPad Pro should be launching this year. Yes, I know we just saw a 2020 iPad Pro in March, but no, we're getting another one for some reason. But what's even weirder though is that apparently the 12.9-inch model will be the only one getting the upgrade. The 11-inch will stay the same, which is a little unusual because when Apple upgrades the iPad Pro lineup, they upgrade both sizes, so this is not making a lot of sense. In terms of upgrades, we can expect with this 12.9-inch iPad Pro, well, the big headline feature will be mini LED, and essentially it'll be bringing the best of both worlds. You'll be getting the deep blacks and contrast of OLED, but with the reliability of LCD, aka no burn-in. On top of that, based on some previous information from John Prosser, we should expect an A14X chip and 5G support for people who care about 5G for some reason. Now, I still find this whole iPad Pro refresh a little odd because Apple, up until now, has been updating the Pros every 18 months, and so why would they choose this year to break that tradition? Plus, the last time Apple did this with the iPad 3 and 4, well, that pissed off a lot of consumers, and rightly so, because when you're spending upwards of £1,000 or even more on an iPad, you kind of expect it to be the latest and greatest for at least a year. But no, Apple has now decided to release an iPad with a better chip in like 6 months. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of angry Apple sheep. Well, this was a major oopsie, but British retailer John Lewis accidentally released pictures of the unreleased Pixel 4a 5G. How does this happen? So what I think happened is that they were trying to make a listing for the Pixel 4a because guess what? The regular Pixel 4a isn't even out in the UK yet, but instead of using the Pixel 4a's promotional images, they mixed it up with the Pixel 4a 5G, which hasn't released yet. Yeah, someone is getting fired today, like, definitely. To be honest, I can see why someone made this mistake because the 4a 5G looks pretty much near identical to the regular 4a. The only noticeable difference is on the back. You're getting a dual camera setup similar to the Pixel 5, which means, yes boys, we're getting the almighty ultra-wide on the Pixel 4a 5G. 2 pixels with an ultra-wide. What is this? 2020 is just a madness. So as I said before, you'll be getting the same exact camera setup and the same exact Snapdragon 765G, but instead of this 6-inch 90Hz display, you're getting a 6.2-inch 60Hz display. So you lose the high refresh rate, but you get a bigger screen. The body is also going to be plastic instead of aluminium and glass, which means you lose out on wireless charging. You'll be getting 6 GB of RAM instead of 8, no IP rating, and unfortunately it'll be Gorilla Glass 3 on the front instead of Gorilla Glass 6 on the Pixel 5. But the biggest downgrade in my opinion that gets me a little worried is the decrease in battery capacity. So instead of the 4080 mAh battery in the Pixel 5, you'll be getting a 3885 mAh battery in the Pixel 4a 5G. Even though it has the bigger display, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. And if you remember the Pixel 4 XL, that phone was notorious for pretty middling battery life because guess what? They paired a pretty big display with a pretty small battery, and I just don't want a repeat of that this year, though I shall reserve my judgment till people actually get to use the phone. And honestly, apart from that little problem, I really can't fault the Pixel 4a 5G. I think it is incredible value for £500, and apart from its pretty horrible name, I think it's a winner. I think it will do incredibly well, and it has definitely enough features to justify the £150 premium over the Pixel 4a. I mean, I alone would pay £150 for that wide angle camera because I use that on a regular basis. I take so many beautiful shots of my face in wide angle. It's amazing. I rely on that feature, and so thank you Google for blessing us with this in 2020. Okay, all jokes aside, the ultra-wide is actually pretty cool. Anyways, that is the end of today's show. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Now, if you want to catch up on yesterday's episode, I'll leave it in the icon above. Main channel will be linked below. Like and subscribe. Do all the things, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya, peeps.